Hey guys, welcome to today's video where we're going to be breaking down today's Dolphins game. Before we get started though, please drop a quick like and a sub on today's video. That would really help my channel grow. I'd really appreciate that. With that said, let's dive right into the video and I hope you enjoy.
So big win for this Miami Dolphins team. They'll move to 7-7 on the season after having 7 straight losses. They get 6 straight to get it back to 500. What a crazy game. Dolphins pretty bad first half, ramped it up in the third quarter. There were some shaky moments in the fourth quarter, but they were able to come away with the victory. Let's start with the offense. Tua Tagovailoa, not his best game. He's been on a nice little bit of a hot streak of late, and in this game, he did show real good signs of some nice passes. Hit Devante Parker on a few nice routes. Isaiah Ford had a nice couple catches, but 2 interceptions too, including a pick six with about 5 or so minutes left in the fourth quarter that put the Jets right back in the ballgame. I think it was actually more like 7 minutes, or it was more like 7 or 8 minutes. But bad throw, bad read, just telegraphed the pass. It was picked off for a Jets touchdown. So, there were a couple of really bad throws from Tua. There were a couple really good throws. I'll make a film session on his performance later in the week. But overall, it was not the best game from Tua. But it was the best game from the running backs and the running game for this Miami Dolphins team. This offensive line was getting so much push at the line of scrimmage. They were really manhandling this Jets defensive front, led by Duke Johnson, who had over 100 rushing yards on the ground, first time since 2020. That happened. He also had 2 rushing touchdowns. Myles Gaskin had just over 50 rushing yards. Tua Tagovailoa had over 20 rushing yards. So there was a lot of running efficiency and rushing efficiency on the ground for this Dolphins team. Big part of their win today, they were really able to run the football, and that was one of the reasons that they were able to really clinch out this game and close out this game in the third and fourth quarter and get back in it, because they were running the ball effectively. They were having those 10, 12, 15-yard runs, those explosive runs that were moving this offense forward. And then complement that with some nice play from Devante Parker, Isaiah Ford, and Mike Gesicki. They were fine through the air. I mean, Tua wasn't completing a lot of his passes at parts, and at times he wasn't that efficient today. But when he was throwing the ball to Devante Parker, things went well. Missed Devante Parker, overthrew him on a route in the first quarter that ended up as an Ashtyn Davis interception. But overall, this offense did what they had to do. And Tua Tagovailoa, when he was put in this place where he needed to win the game, he did what he had to do. He led a game-winning drive in the fourth quarter to set up a Devante Parker touchdown and made the right reads on that drive to win the game. Sure, gave up the interception and gave up a couple bad throws, but overall the offense did enough. And I think really it comes down to the running game. The Dolphins were really able to run the football. The offensive line was really good at creating that running game, and Tua got the ball out quick enough too, where the pass protection wasn't really a big enough factor, although that wasn't great. But more importantly, I think this defense was a massive reason for the Dolphins winning. I mean, Brandon Jones, Jerome Baker were flying all over the field with the most tackles on the team. Brandon Jones had a sack. Jerome Baker had 2 sacks. Van Ginkel had a sack. Zach Sealer had a sack. Who else had a sack? Emmanuel Ogbah had a sack, as well as a fumble recovery. So, I mean, this Dolphins defense was flying all over the football field against the Jets, especially in the third and fourth quarter to close out this game. Because remember, this was a 17-10 game at halftime. It was a 17-10 game at halftime. And the Dolphins defense from the third quarter into the fourth were absolutely terrific. Really did not give the Jets any breathing room on offense. I loved the play, as I said, of Brandon Jones, Jerome Baker, Andrew Van Ginkel too. Jalen Phillips should have had a couple sacks. He didn't. Christian Wilkins played well. I mean, they were flying and they were having that energy, that intensity, and I think that's really the best way to describe this defensive effort in that third and fourth quarter. Energy, intensity, and just effort. Just going out and wanting it, and that's how they ended up winning the game. So really big win for this Dolphins team. They moved to 7-7, pick up a win and maintain that playoff positioning. Still trying to get that wild card spot. They're still in it. They play next week against the Saints. And then I mean, you look at the Jets team. I mean, offensively they were in shambles. Zach Wilson had a couple of nice plays. Their running game couldn't really get going. They really utilized the tight ends a lot, and I thought that Braxton Berrios had a really big game too. Braxton Berrios and Jameson Crowder really stepped up in place of Corey Davis, who was out, and Elijah Moore, who was out. But Ryan Griffin and Tyler Kroft, the 2 tight ends, they were targeted a lot in today's game. And at the end of the day, Zach Wilson had some nice moments, but this Dolphins defense really got to him. After that first quarter, the second quarter, where the Jets offense was kind of having the momentum, and that was more or less because, the Dolphins defense was on the back heel, and I thought that I thought LaFleur did a really good job Mike LaFleur, the Jets offensive coordinator, did a really good job with the creativity offensively. So overall, I thought that was really good from the Jets and all the different things they were doing and all the different looks offensively they were doing. They were getting the ball out quickly, getting the ball to the flat, yards after the catch, and that was really successful for them. But as soon as the Dolphins defense came out of the locker room in the second half, it was a completely different ball game, and they were ready to fight. Defensively for this Jets team, Bryce Hall had a really nice game. I thought he played well. Quincy Williams, I feel like is in the heart of this Jets defense every single time I watch them. Make so many tackles. Ashtyn Davis had an interception. Brandon Echols obviously had that pick six. So those are some guys to really look at for the Jets defense. But overall, this was a game where the Dolphins started off slowly, and as soon as they got back into it, the Dolphins won the game. So overall, I thought that they played really well. Beat the Jets on total yards, passing yards, rushing yards, yards per play. They were more efficient. They converted their fourth down plays. They had a botched special teams play in the fourth quarter that really kind of got the Jets a little bit more momentum. But overall, this was a kind of a shaky game. It was a lot closer than it should have been if you're a Dolphins fan. But they got the win. They keep pace in the wild card race, and they move on to next week where they'll play the Saints. The Jets move to 3-11. They're out of the playoff race at this point of the season. But nonetheless, big win for the Dolphins, and They move to 7-7 and try and keep winning some games to get into the playoffs.
And with that said, that's pretty much going to end the video for today. Did you agree with my analysis? Why or why not? Leave your comments and thoughts in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear what you guys have to say. Also, if you're new around here, please drop a like and a sub on today's video. I'd really appreciate that. And with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video. And until next time, see ya.